a popular song. You give
Yeah.
me lyrics to a popular song, and I can switch it up for a weekly weigh-in. But I hear like original music, and I'm like, I don't know what words to add to this. I just can't figure it out.
We're good at like changing a song. We're like, we
Yes.
can Weird Al
Oh, yeah.
Yankovic a song.
We could totally.
We can Weird Al Yankovic a song.
Yeah.
For those of you who know who that
Funny
is.
that you said Weird
I know.
Al as we were watching it on
It's-
How I Met Your Mother just
Exactly,
2 seconds
exactly.
ago.
Hi, I'm Nick.
I'm Jean-Luc.
And we're the Wellness Warriors.
We
and we're
are.
joined tonight by our special guest, Renny. Hi, Renny.
Hello, it's good to see you guys.
How warm is it down there?
Yeah.
Actually, it's pretty cool. It's only in the mid 80s. It's about 10 degrees cooler than it was a couple of days ago. So this is wonderful today.
So Renny, right before we do want someone to we're gonna bring someone in because she has something.
Well, we're gonna
us.
celebrate something with you. You probably
Yes.
heard of that happened to us this week.
And we're gonna have someone join us on screen here.
So-
Our lovely Matilda.
So
because-
Matilda, why are you here? What happened this week?
Oh boy, two special people made it to 10,000 on YouTube.
We did it! We're
We
actually
did it.
10,070 right now or something like that. It's still going up. So thank you so much, everyone. I know, Matilda, I think you have something for us. I know you were saying
I
I said get it ready.
I do have it ready, and unfortunately, as you can see, I've been missing you all summer because I've been really busy, and we have family coming over. But I wasn't going to miss this because I did promise you that I was going to do the confettis when you reached your 10,000. You did. Congratulations to you both. All of us here are very proud of you both, and we love you very, very much.
We love
And
all of
everything,
you.
yes, and everything you do is always something that you're doing for us and inspiring us. Renny, I wish you the best this afternoon with this lovely crew. You will do fantastic. I have not seen your video yet. I will watch it, I promise. So here I go. Here's your confettis. And you know these are going to be coming to you. So
I know.
I know. Yay! I love that. That was so pretty.
It's so much fun.
That is so cool.
Thank you, Matilda, and thank you, everyone. I want to thank everyone from the bottom of our heart. A lot of people, like, they went to check. People logged in to verify if you guys were subscribed or not, and everybody kept saying, "I didn't even know I was subscribed. I wasn't subscribed." So I just want to thank all of you for helping us making this happen, because we started our channel. We were like, can you imagine if we get to 10,000 someday? And we thought that was such a lofty, like, never gonna happen goal, and we've done it.
Never
And
thought it was
so-
gonna make. Well, it's so. Never. I'm gonna say this. We should never say never, right?
Yeah, never
we should
say never.
never say never.
Thank you,
so much,
Matilda.
Matilda. We'll let you get to your family. Love you.
love you. Bye.
And we are working on another goal of ours. We had 3 goals when we started this, like, or throughout the journey, was getting to 10,000, a cookbook, so we're actively still working on that. And the other thing was to get on television. So we actually sent an email to someone at Breakfast Television this week to hopefully try to get on the show. But if you guys follow them on Twitter, on Instagram, and you know Dina or any of the personalities on the show or any of the producers, just message them and say, hey, have Jean-Luc and Nick on your show, because we'd love to. We really want to be on there. Like it's like a dream of ours to be on TV. So if that happens, and it's like another bucket list item, and just again, thank you for all your support. We love you guys, and yes, we are working on a cookbook. It's something that we're actively looking into, as well as merchandising. We're also working. We're wearing Woody shirts tonight.
Yeah, the Woody
shirts tonight. Woody, the ones we had from when Kevin came to visit.
yeah.
Woody Woodburn
Teddy
shirts.
Woodburn.
Yeah.
Kevin and Ashley.
Yeah. So we have their shirts on tonight. So want to just make sure to call that out, because
And of course, everybody should be saying hi to Renny, because
Yes.
he's our
Special
awesome
guest.
co-hostess with the mostest.
Co-hostess?
Co-host with the most.
Co-host with the most?
I
That
can't
works.
talk
Either
today.
one works. It's fine.
Either one.
Flexible.
That's exactly.
And Renny, we actually had a really good topic to talk to you tonight about, actually, because it's been a topic that's been happening throughout the week on our socials. Why? The why. We posted a bunch of videos about it, kind of reminiscing on old videos. Even Bill did a blog about it this week about finding his why. And we kind of want to talk to you about it, because I know we talked about it a bit during your interview. But can you talk about how you come to figure out what your why is? Like, what makes you keep going to this day? Like, what keeps you on this journey after 20 some years of doing this?
You bring up a good point, because your why will change as you change. My why is not the same as it was when I started 21 years ago. But my why now, everyone wants to say, I want to be healthy. Well, I don't want to be ugly or anything, but I say, duh, who doesn't want to be healthy, right? But what does healthy look like to us? And I think for me, being healthy is being that 80-something-year-old person that still dances and still runs around and acts like the fool like he does in his 60s, right? So it's being able to take care of yourself, and still being healthy allows you to have a brighter outlook and to see the world through the eyes of a child. And I think that's so very important. So I want all of that. And for that to happen, I stay on this program to maintain good health, to get healthier. And I hate sounding like Pollyanna, but it's not a chore. It's an honor. It's a privilege to do this program. It's a privilege that there are scientists behind this. This is, I don't know what it costs in the States, but it's $44.95 a month to be a member that goes to workshops and what have you. And I'm stealing this from my good friend Marcy. A lot of things I steal from my friends, because that's why we're friends, right?
Definitely.
We steal from one another. But she says no one would pay $44.95 to do the Marcy plan. And I dare say no one would pay $44.95 to do the Renny plan either, because it doesn't work. That plan works. And what is so wonderful about the plan is that you can put your own little twist on it. But going back to the why is so essential, because when you're in the middle of wrestling with a donut, and we've all been there, right? It's your why is going to make you the victor. It's going to make you strong.
We should be drinking a lot of water, people.
Our word of the week is why. So all of you should be drinking a whole lot of your water, maybe half the glass right now. So yes, the word of the week is why. And Renny, I love you sharing that. You wanted to...
Well, yeah, I was going to ask you something, because you said something there that was like, your why changes. And I get that your why changes, because our why has
changed.
But is there some type of like a foundation or a theme? Have you seen possibly categories of whys that have been created throughout your journey?
Do you have
that
some
have propelled you more than others? Have some whys made you want to continue more, and some whys made you realize and sit back and go, I don't know if this is something that I'm really wanting to continue doing or not?
You're right, because that's why your why changes. You set out with this why, and you think, not the best why for me right now. I might come back to it, but maybe not right now. And sometimes your why changes simply because you've accomplished what you wanted to accomplish. One of my first whys is that I wanted to be a WW coach. Well, I am one. I have been for a long time. Check that one off. Yeah. So your why will change when you accomplish that particular thing. But sometimes a why you think is not a good fit, and maybe that why is because it's too broad. Sometimes we need to hone in and make it more specific to you, because I love it. We are all completely different, aren't we? We're all little snowflakes.
Yeah.
Well,
there's no one like that is exactly the same.
No one's the same. And you know what? I always relate this to language in certain ways. Like, how often can we say we can repeat the exact same thing the exact same way? Even if you try to repeat something the exact same way, your tone is different. Your thought process, that moment in time is different. So we all change automatically throughout the day. The decisions that we make in a second. And we have to sometimes make these decisions without even thinking, and we do it. When you're driving your car, when you're driving down the road and you see brake lights, you automatically gonna stop your car. You sometimes even brake because someone further down the road put their brake lights on, and you're not even close to them. Just because you saw the lights, we react. And sometimes our whys make us react. And I think that's why it's so important to dig into them. And like you said, make them, we say make, like they always talk about micro habits.
Micro
What's wrong
whys.
about a micro why?
And that's why, like in
And
the
that's
video,
not a microwave, it's a micro why.
the video we released, we shared this week, the Finding Your Why video. If you haven't seen it on our channel, it talks about an exercise we actually tell people to do to figure out your why. We tell people, write down your why, but then ask why to your why, and keep asking why until you run out of answers. And when you run out of answers, there's even more questions you want to ask yourself. Where do you want to be in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 25 years? Where do you want to be when you have grandkids? Do you want to be around for your grandkids? And that's the things you start thinking about. And if you add up all those whys and you put them all on the list, at some point when you're struggling, one of these facets might hit you, like, well, you know what? I might want that piece of cake, but I'm seeing my nephew tomorrow and I want to be around for him when I'm older. So you know what? I won't have this right now because it's too important. I can't do that right now. Having these, and we always, all of us always have this one event that we're trying to lose weight for, right? A wedding or something. And why is it that when we get there, we can't keep going after, because that one reason lasts that short period of time. But if you said, I want to get thin for my wedding and I want to get thin because I want to be around for my grandkids when they have children at that wedding, these are my children's wedding I'm going to. I want to be around for their grandkids when they go to their wedding. And that's another reason. So you're adding more events and more things to your why. So you're always trying to do something for yourself.
You might have a short why, a short-term why and a long-term why.
Exactly.
And you can have more than one why.
Yeah.
And I'm even going to throw it out there. You can have a no term why. There could be no terms to your why. Your why can be just because I want to do this today. This is my why for today. It's not my why for the rest of my journey, but this is the reason I'm doing what I'm doing today. And I know that sounds funny to say, but I think sometimes it's that whole fear of sometimes that we're making a mistake or we're doing something wrong. We automatically think we do something wrong before we even do it sometimes.
That's how we're wired. We are wired to the negative. And that's why we have all of this negative self-talk that serves no purpose whatsoever. None whatsoever. And so we need to be kinder to ourselves. We need to allow ourselves to make a mistake. No one does anything perfectly. No one ever does. And so that's okay.
And someone said something, and it was Patricia. Patricia says, no why should be about weight loss. And it makes me think, and I'm not saying that that's not a good statement or a bad statement whatsoever, but I think
a why can be anything.
I think a why, in my thought process, I think a why can be anything. But if you're one that says, yep, that cannot be a why for me, that's okay.
Yeah. And I
don't think somebody else's why needs to be your why.
Every journey is unique, so every why, you guys should be drinking tons of water right now. You should be chugging your glasses. Like, whew. So the reason the whys work is, again, it's like Renny, you nailed it on the head earlier when you said it's kind of like something that propels you. So when you're having that decision, it helps you come back. So for you, since you've been doing this for 20 years, this is probably easy for you now. Like, you've been doing this forever.
It's easy.
It must be,
right?
Like, you're a coach now. This must be like, you probably got to, like,
You never
struggle. You never struggle.
You need to be in stand-up. You should do stand-up. That is the funniest thing.
You're telling me that after 20 years, I won't be struggling in 20 years from now? You're telling me I'm always going to have to figure this out?
We had a church potluck today. And I'm so glad none of you were there to witness this. If anyone is from church...
The drone didn't make it.
It was, we all have blowouts. It's okay. And I think what is so important, and I think we've talked about this before, what is your next step? What is your next step? And after this call or this Zoom, I'm going to make a 2-point dinner. That's my next step.
Yep.
My next step. So, and I don't regret what I did. I did what felt good in the moment, but it was like, do I really need a piece of pecan pie?
Yes, I do need a piece of
Why
pecan pie.
did you?
Yeah. I did.
And your why could be that moment. The reason why I needed it is because I actually wanted it and I haven't had it in a long time.
And what's funny is that your parallel of... Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say go ahead first, and I'll throw in after.
What is different now than what was different, let's say 25 years ago? I would just eat it. Now there is a little conversation. Do you really want this? Is this something that you really want? Well, yeah, well, not really. Yeah. Is this the last time in my life that I can ever possibly have pecan pie? No, we'll probably have it again. You have that type. But anyway, by asking those questions, we put a pause on it. And that way, when yes, I decide to have the pecan pie, which I did, it's a decision that I made. It wasn't just a impulse.
I love that.
I love that. I love that.
And it's so true.
It's so, and what I was trying to share earlier was it parallels us this weekend. Like, we just released our video for weigh-in, so most people probably have not seen it. But if you go see our weigh-in video this week, we sang a song about the fact that we've been struggling. We've not been tracking. I put on, Jean-Luc put 5 pounds on this week. I put another 2 pounds on. We're both above our range. Our range that we always tell you guys that we have, we're above that range right now. Does that mean that we're mad at ourselves? No, we still sang in that video. We still weighed in knowing that we've indulged this weekend. We still did everything we normally do because
we gave ourselves grace still, because how am I going to benefit from saying, I suck, I can't do this, I can't believe I ate all that food.
I might as well eat another lasagna.
That's not going to help me. But what Renny just said is, I'm going to make myself a 2-point dinner.
Yeah.
Boom. That's the reverse, right? It's looking at the glass as being half full, the fresh start, the new beginning.
Yeah.
And we can have multiple new beginnings. We can have multiple whys.
Exactly.
Absolutely. There's so much truth to that. And we don't have to wait until Monday for a new beginning or next
Thank God
week.
it's tomorrow.
Yeah, yeah.
I heard in a workshop today, someone said, it was Larry Garrett. He says, well, I'll start Monday. But he didn't say which Monday, right?
Ooh.
So Monday could be just some random Monday weeks away.
Yep.
But you can start fresh in this very moment. And that's one thing that is so very important, to realize the magic of right now, the magic of this moment that we're all sharing right now. It makes my little hairs on my arm stand up to think of all of us together sharing in community. And there's so much love and so much connection here. And I'm with you, whether you do WW, we're all in this wellness journey together, and we're all trying to become the best version of ourselves. And we need to focus on that. Not if you're doing keto and I'm doing WW, or I'm doing the Dolly Parton diet. I did that one, in the 70s.
I heard about that. You mentioned that to us one time when we were chatting.
Yeah. I went from an A cup to a C cup, but that's all.
Love it. Love it.
Boom, boom.
Love it. So one thing I wanted to talk to everyone about. So we've been asked. A lot of people have been asking us about workshop visits, because we've been to visit you quite a few times, Renny, in Oklahoma. And so we actually went to 2 other countries this week. So give everybody a background. We're actually not visiting scheduled workshops. We're visiting workshops that have requested us a while ago, and we're trying to finish them all up. We don't know what's happening in the fall yet. We're still trying to figure that out with WW. We don't know exactly what's happening yet. So we're trying to just finish up the places that requested us. So yes, if people hear that, why did they show up at that workshop if they're not going anywhere? We're just going to places, and we're not announcing it though. We're just popping in. It's daytime. Yeah. It's daytime visits that we're doing right now.
The only time we announce it is to the coaches that live in another country, because we need to make sure we show up on time.
Exactly. It's like, what time is it there for you now? But we had so much fun being in Ireland and the UK, and it's so different over there. Have you ever actually met other coaches from other countries, Renny? Like, has that ever happened?
I was in London 3 years ago, and my weigh-in day is on Saturday. So I went to a WW workshop, and it was delightful. And the coach was so wonderful. What he did, it wasn't in pounds. So it was in the
stones.
Yeah, in stones. So he adjusted the scale so I would know how much I actually weighed, because the other would have made no sense. But it was a delightful, but once again, I was with my tribe in the UK.
Yeah.
It's no matter where you go, you're always home. And I think that is so beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah, I know for us too, like, we've been to many different locations, and we have met many coaches from across the world.
And for those of you who don't know, 1 stone equals 14 pounds.
So convert.
So that's the conversion. So
Yeah.
it's funny. They're talking, oh, I lost 7 stones.
So you
and
do
you're
7
like,
times 14, and it'll say 7 stone 3 pounds.
Yeah, then they will add the pounds to it as well, depending on
What's
where if it
left.
falls
It's almost like
within the
foots, right? You know,
yeah.
a foot in inches, so it's like almost stone and pounds are the same thing, that the way they do it there. So it's when we go, I had to call calculate at some point what our stones we lost. I think we lost
I
like
don't
8
remember.
stone or something, or 6 stone, or I know I just threw a bunch of rocks in the lake, and it looked like 6 was okay. So I thought 6 stone was good.
I lost the gallstone once, so that was good.
Oh,
You lost the gallstone once, you said? I lost the gallbladder. So
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Oh, no.
gallbladder's gone. Yeah.
that was how long ago was that?
My goodness, my gallbladder surgery was
Before me.
before Nick. So I was in my early
BN.
20s. Yeah, I was in my early 20s. And it's funny, Renny, because we went home. We were in Windsor this weekend, and I know people have questions for you, but Mom brought out some pictures, and Mom brought out a whole bunch of stuff. And I posted the picture of me and my dad, and like I have it right here.
You look like twins.
Like this was my father. This was the picture I talked about, everybody. That Mom had remade. It's like a newer version, because the small one she had was about this big, and I actually thought it was me. And so it's so funny that when I found the picture of me and I put it in black and white and I put it beside it, and I still can't believe how, you might look like your family members, but it doesn't mean your genetics are 100% the same, right? My dad is very short. I'm
Yes.
really tall.
Yeah.
So like my dad
I'm taller
is
than his dad.
Yeah, he's taller than my dad. My dad is a tiny, tiny little man. And so my dad's always had a belly. Never seemed big. I have a belly, but I was round. I was also round compared to my dad. So it's so funny how we sit there and we
your dad was never as big as you were.
Never as big as I was. My dad was always active. He loved to be outside. He loved to work in the garden. We had hedges in our backyard that they grew from twigs that they grew themselves and became 8-foot hedges that he would cut all summer, twice a summer with the hedge clippers, which was crazy. Like I saw my dad do that. Did that influence me to want to be a more active person? Nope. So isn't it funny that we sometimes go, oh, it's genetics, it's my family. Yeah, if genetics were the case, sometimes genetics would make you want to do stuff instead of not want to do stuff as well, right? So it's so funny that no matter how much we compare ourselves to
Others,
strangers, even when when you're comparing yourself to families, your family, as far as your weight loss journey goes, they're just as much of a stranger to you as anybody else is.
we're all made up of different particles, different ways, and you're not made up the same way as everybody else.
The snowflake, like Renny said.
It's the snowflake. So do not ever compare yourself to anybody else. We say this every single week. If you're taking this journey and all you're doing, and I'm not saying all as in that's bad, but if your weight loss is 0.1 a week keep on going forever, that means by the end of your journey, you will always have been losing weight and having fun and having a great life. And that's what this is about. A lot of us have this, I want to get there so quickly. And we get it. We were like that too. We were like that at the beginning. And eventually, for me, it never worked that way. I had to slow down and realize I was a turtle and take the time to get there.
This is the first time in my life where I've put on weight.
And I'm not worried.
I am at 191 pounds right now, guys.
181.
My goal weight is 176. This is the first time I can say I am not afraid of this weight. I know what I need to do.
And we're doing it. We're already ready.
I need to do it.
We're ready
and
for
I
it
need
tomorrow.
to focus. And there was a question in chat earlier that said, how are you going to get back on track?
A lot of stuff. We're doing a lot of stuff to do that.
And I'm saying one thing. We're taking it one day and one meal at a time. Tomorrow is day 1.
Yeah.
We are starting fresh.
Yep.
We are saying this is what we're doing.
We're going to try to post our tracker.
Yep,
We've talked about that in our live. We're actually going to be starting to post our trackers in our group again like we were doing last year.
And this is a non-judgment. Let's not go looking at other people's trackers to say, well, you shouldn't be eating that. You're eating too much of this, because that's not what we want to do. We want to post our trackers to make sure that we're just
accountable.
Saying, look at what we're doing, guys.
We're tracking today, and we're proving it by saying, here it is. And by doing that, if you don't actively post it, I can say, oh, I tracked today, guys. I did. I sure did. And I can put the proof in the pudding and post it, Nick. Oh, I can't. Okay. Punch it all in and post it. But I mean, by posting it ourselves, it's making us for sure having to do this.
And someone gave me a really good idea, and I think I'm going to try tomorrow. I'm going to try at least writing everything down that I eat on a paper, so that way I have somewhere to go back and track it, because I've been bad at tracking instantaneously. I used to be able to, as soon as I eat it, I track it, and I haven't been doing that. So I need to find a way to get back to that.
Maybe once one of us like realizes that we haven't tracked, we have to crow like a rooster.
No, I get
Like,
it. No, hey,
and then that means we have to track when we missed it.
no, our snack on, snack off rule worked.
Yeah.
So why don't we just automatically, whenever we eat something or we know something, either of us has to say track it. So that way we know we have to track it. So let's try that.
We'll figure it out a way.
We'll try that.
Yeah.
Let's get some questions for Renny.
Yeah,
Enough about us. Let's talk about Renny. So Renny, what do you think about us?
I think you're adorable.
That was the joke from back in the day. So enough about me. Let's talk about you. What do you think about me?
Hi, Janet. Hi, little one.
Hi there. First off, Renny, I'm going to try and do this without crying. First off, Renny, thank you for everything. Because, I've been going to your workshops for a year, and I've learned so much from you, and I take that with me. I've learned so much from Jean-Luc and Nick. I'm sorry. I've learned so much from Jean-Luc and Nick. I've learned so much from this incredibly awesome community, and I just want to share a couple of things. Renny, I'm sorry you've heard this, and it's going to be a repeat, but obviously my why has changed throughout the years. At first it was to look good in this outfit, or to, but after my knee surgery, which it'll be 3 years this November, after my knee surgery, it was, at first, then my why became my knees. And then it's like, my why now is me. I am living my best and healthiest life I've ever lived, even pre-20s, pre-teenagers. What I actually did on Friday shocked the hell even out of me, because this just is like something everybody here has said, like, was in my brain. I did it all the first for the month. Like, I've learned from Jean-Luc and Nick that don't your weight doesn't define you. The scale is just a number. So for the month of what is this, July?
You might have to let some people out of that brain if there's a bunch of us in there. Like, you might not have room left.
Retired life. Like I told Antoinetta the other day on Thursday, I thought it was Friday, so I didn't go to Thursday a body, because on Friday I go to my live studio, I go out to breakfast with my friends, and then I go food shopping. And Thursday I'm standing outside the studio. It's like,
where is everyone?
And then I'm like, oh shit, it's Tuesday, and it's now 9:45, and I missed a body. So, but
we have a new theme song for you. Where's my phone? We'll let you listen to it later.
So for the month of now I'm Lifetime. I'm Lifetime. But for the month of July, I'm down 2 pounds, because all that I did for the month of July is, I did track, but I got a lot of Hungry Girl recipes. So I've been like making a lot of her recipes, and I would gain 0.1, I would gain 0.2, no big deal. I would lose 0.1, and then the next week I would gain 0.1, 0.2, and again. So this went on, and then I realized when I happened to look at my tracker, it was like, oh, I'm literally 1.2 pounds away from having to pay. So I just reeled it in. But on Friday, I ordered from Instacart, and I did an Aldi order. Well, every time I do an Aldi order, because it's really not that near me, and I apologize, I'm sorry. I'm trying to do this fast. I always put this non-dairy mocha fudge in the cart, and it's always sold out. So lo and behold, when I got it, it was there. The first thing I did is I took out my phone and I scanned it to see how much it was for the whole container. First thing, it was 32 points. I then proceeded to take the cover off and put the spoon in. I put the 32 points in my tracker, and it took me a half an hour to thoroughly enjoy this
That's
mocha almond fudge. It only took me a half an hour to eat because I kept getting brain freeze, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. I had no guilt. I had no like, you stupid idiot, why did you eat that? I had none of that. I ended up with like a 60 something point day. But the thing was, I pre-tracked it, and I would never in the past, because of all of you, I pre-tracked it, I ate it, I thoroughly enjoyed it, and it was like the best damn non-dairy ice cream I have ever had
Janet,
in my life.
Janet, question for you. Doesn't it feel much better feeling like this right now where you're not mad at yourself for having done it? You've done it. It doesn't matter. It's happened. But you chose to do it. You enjoyed it. And then you moved on. You tracked it and you moved on. And that's what the crux of being successful on this is, the moving on part. The moving on is what we all have an issue with, because we're so angry with ourselves because we're not perfect. We talk about this all the time. We crave perfection. We crave it. We want to get a gold star. We want to get 100%. We want to win the medal. Right?
And that's because of what our brains are trained about competition. And this is not a competition, though. That's the thing. Removing this whole idea is that we're competing to gain something, but we're not. It's not a competition. It's more of a I prefer looking at it as a game, not a competition.
It's a game with ourselves.
It's a game with ourselves. But it's more like snakes and ladders, instead of like, we don't need to have a winner. There's no winner at the end of this.
Renny, were you ever compared? Like, did you ever compare it when you were doing your journey your first time? Were you comparing yourself to other members at the time? Because I know you were saying you were probably one of the only guys there, right? So were you often compared to the women in the
Well, in the room at the studio, of course, all I heard from the women was, "Oh, men lose weight a lot faster." But I heard that a lot. So I really didn't compare myself with other people. As you know, I have cerebral palsy. And so growing up, it was very easy for me to compare myself with able-bodied people. And that comparison, dear friends, is the thief of joy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It is the thief of joy.
So is.
So don't fall into that. Your journey is your journey.
I love what Rosie put in the chat. She says it's a choose your own adventure. That's what this
I
is.
love that, Rosie.
That's fantastic. Those were my
She's a lovely
favorite.
assistant, and she's brilliant.
Those were my favorite books growing up, where you got to choose your own adventure, where you got to go A or B. You got to go
You're
B or C.
doing that right now.
And that's what we're doing. We are totally doing that. And that's the best way to look at this, because guess what? You're writing the book. You are writing it every single day.
Yeah.
And some days are going to have pages, like there's going to be a chapter of 300 pages. And then some days the chapter is going to be like 2.
And you know, Jean-Luc, a friend of mine who's also coached by the name of Ian, says you have the pen and you write your own story. Don't let anyone take the pen away from you.
Yeah.
And I think that is so powerful.
It's very
How many times
powerful.
have we given our pen to someone else?
Yeah.
You know?
Or giving our will to someone else, like our own self-worth to someone else. When we let someone else say something and then let their opinion of what they're saying affect us. And an opinion is, again, your own opinion. It's that person's decision to say these things. Not everyone thinks this. And I'll relate it back to Jean-Luc. Jean-Luc, for many years, he's talked very openly about when he started losing weight, he didn't like the way he looked. And it killed me, because are you saying I have bad taste? That's basically what I used to say. Are you saying I have bad taste because I think you're attractive, and obviously you're saying you're not? So you're saying my taste is terrible. And he's like, no, I'm just saying I'm not a model. I'm like, yes, hun, I understand that. But you know what? Models, not everyone loves them either. Not everyone's attracted to models. Most of society is, but not every single person is. And so your idea of perfection is not the same thing as somebody else's ideas of a perfection as well. And that's the thing. We compare ourselves so much, and we don't understand. We're all attractive. We're all beautiful people. We all have people out there who love us for who we are and the way we look like.
That's the way we are.
And that's who we need to find.
And I think that's what is so important, that we all need to realize none of the people in this Zoom needs to be fixed. We are not broken. We are not broken. We're just all on this, we're on this little trip together. And we're doing the best we can in this moment. So I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm preaching.
No.
This is hey,
Renny,
you're just
it's all about.
you're the guest. You're the host with us. The three of us have equal
They
grounds.
did not come to see us this
No,
evening.
they
They're
came to
all
see
here
you.
to see you, Renny.
Thank you so much, Janet.
Thank you. Love you guys.
Love you.
I'm here for all of you. So
Oh.
We're here for you.
thank you all. Thank you.
For you.
Hi, Rosie.
Hi. Well, what I wanted to say is this idea of what is beautiful, which is just because you guys talked about this, is that those skinny people are 1% of the population.
Mm-hmm.
None of us are ever going to get there. And that's okay. But we are fed this crap that we are meant to be this specific size and body type. Those models, they're basically hangers for clothing.
Yeah.
So ignore that. And the most important part, and this is things that, and I've said this before, and I will say this again, is you have to love the body you are currently in.
Yep.
Because if you don't love that body right now, you're not going to love it when you make it to goal or wherever you're going to be. You need to love yourself right now. You also need to be kind to yourself, because you certainly will find yourself saying things to yourself that you would never say to someone else. And if you heard your best friend saying that crap about themselves, you'd say,
how dare you say that?
Snap out of that. So treat yourself like you treat your best friends, your family, and love yourself. That is really to me, the most important part of this journey.
1,000%, Rosie, and thank you for sharing that, because I think the thing
Important.
that we have the hardest time with is actually that love for thyself. We all, a lot of us struggle with that. I think that is one of the hardest things.
We've been
and admitting it and talking about it out loud.
Because that's the reality is the success.
We won't say
You could say, "Oh, I love myself." I say it to myself all the time in my head, but when can you actually say it out loud?
But that's
and
one
hun,
of the
do you want to be
things
honest? Have we not?
We love you.
I was gonna say, have we not shared? Have we not said stuff this? My mic's working.
No, you're on.
Have we said stuff this? Have we said stuff this weekend to ourselves negatively about the way we look this weekend? We both have. We both have.
Yeah, we did.
We both have. Like the F word has come out. I feel fat today.
I never said fat.
I did.
I say fluffy.
Yeah, I said fat.
I say fluffy.
But you know what I mean? Even after reaching where we're at, we still get mad at ourselves.
But
we're human.
But the weird part is he also then looks at himself 2 minutes later, going, "Wow, I look pretty good still."
Like, I'm okay. I'm not that fat, and I walk away. Right?
It's that idea of we still flip. We flip back and forth.
And of course, we're human beings, and we're not perfect, as you said before. We aren't going to have every day is not going to be the best day where you feel better. You hear about this with women talking about, one of my favorites was my friend went shopping for a pair of pants and she wanted a bigger pair of pants. And the guy was trying to sell her the smaller pair saying it fits her. And she goes, "No, I need those for my fat days," because women once a month often are a little heavier.
We have those too. Not because of the time of month, but we have a range of clothing as well.
But it was just really funny because the guy didn't even click that the reason she wanted them was she basically wanted for when she was menstruating, so she felt comfortable in a pair of pants. So it happens, and she was perfectly skinny. So it doesn't matter. We all have those moments, and we all live this life where we have, and we're so hard on ourselves about it. I'm still hard on myself, even though most of the time I don't talk like I do. But there are days where you really have to force yourself to say these positive things about you. But it's okay. I still love myself. I think I'm awesome, And I have there's so much to offer in my life that, it's not worth that whole everything else. I'm an influencer too, apparently.
Yes,
you are an influencer.
Hashtag influencer. I know you love when I put that because it's like a joke that goes way back with us.
The shirt. I tried the shirt on recently. It fits me better now.
Yay! That's awesome.
Thanks for sharing, Rosie.
Thanks, Rosie.
Thanks for being part of our adventure book.
Yeah.
I'm all up for an adventure.
Awesome. So, Renny, I did have a question for you. So, now that you've been doing virtual and you've done in person, have you seen the benefits of either, like, both? Like, is there one you prefer? Is there one that you think has been more beneficial for yourself? Like, how have you been feeling with the whole virtual world recently?
I didn't do the live workshops for a long, long time until I was fully vaccinated and felt comfortable to go. The studios in Oklahoma actually opened up a year ago, July, but
Oh, wow.
I opted not to go back until April. And I learned a lot being in lockdown as far as having these more intimate, authentic conversations. So since I've been back to the studio, we still have a good time, but there's still that connection that I think is so vital. People need connection. They need to feel a part of something. They need to feel like they belong. And I think that's what WW does so very well. So do I like one better than the other? Well, I don't have to wear pants if I'm virtual.
Me neither. I'm taking them off now. I'm just joking.
Facebook is
I do have
down.
pants. I do. But no. To me,
I know what you're saying, though.
Well, I was gonna. The reason I'm bringing it up is because we've loved the virtuals when they started. We've been doing it for 2 years, but recently going to see people in person again has been like hanging out with our friend Lisa yesterday in Windsor was crazy fun. Seeing my mom again, and I think that's what I'm missing. I think seeing people and just having those side conversations, those chit chats with people that you don't get to have right now in virtuals because it's very hard. You're just typing. You can't really just say, "Hey, Maria," or "Hey, Arlene, did you try the recipe last night?" You can't do that. Like we used to. I won't lie. We used to talk a lot in our workshops. Sorry, Cheryl. Hey. He talked more than me. I'm sorry to say. Anybody out there who was in workshops with us back in the day, chatter here, chatterbox. Anyways, but that's why I was asking, because for us, we were all about the virtuals. We love them, but we've now realized that we are missing the in-person meeting people again. And since we've been vaccinated and been able to actually start seeing people again, it's been like, oh my God. We like that even just talking from across like a field with someone sitting on a chair, because we've done a lot of that where we're not exactly together, we're all around outside in a way. It's still better than having, and I'm better, but it's a different experience than the virtual world has been for
And
me.
you know what? And I'm gonna be listen to this.
That's me. That's my opinion. We don't agree on this. We don't agree on this.
I think the virtual world has created a new
Facet.
a new era of what workshops are about.
Mm-hmm.
I felt in workshops, when you were going to a workshop, a lot of not listening was happening because there was a lot of chitter chatter happening with people, and you feeling like you were ostracized from a group because these people sat at the same spot all the time every
it's
week.
like that's your seat.
Your chair. And if someone's sitting in there one week, it was like, oh, how dare you sit? That's Jean-Luc's chair. You know what I mean? Like, and
we had our chairs.
We had a spot. We had an area where we always sat. And I'm not saying that that's a bad or a good thing, but I love what I loved about what I loved.
And no, we didn't walk in and see people sitting in our spot and look at them and
never. But what I love about the virtual is that it's created this, at least somewhat, a one at a time. And I noticed through the last 18 months that more people talk now.
Yes.
It's very rare that you go to a workshop, because I know sometimes in workshops, it was very quiet.
Crickets.
Yeah, it was very quiet. People did not feel comfortable sharing in front of other people.
Because of the group.
But all of a sudden, being in the comfort of your own home, where someone is just seeing you face on, but you could turn off that camera if you want to. You could walk away if you want to.
So you can share your struggles without someone seeing you and knowing who really you are, and then you're not being judged.
Plus, in the virtual, you can see everyone's faces. When you're in a workshop, you're in rows and you can't see everyone. So there's more of that connection. Oh, you have a lovely back, Jean.
No.
Thank you. But there you go. There's pros and cons to both. I just like the whole concept of the community of WW itself.
To me, I think that's the reason why this works. Like, so for us, like, I love the points, the program, that definitely is a big aspect of it. But I think for us, having everyone be part of this with us,
And
and
plus, without
it's
the virtuals, I would know Arlene.
exactly.
Oh my gosh, I have met such wonderful, and you guys, I've met such wonderful people.
And
In
without the
May, I got to fly to Palm Springs, and I met a lot of people in the Palm Springs area that
Cool.
I
Art.
met virtually. So
Did you
I
meet
met
Art?
those people.
Did you make Art?
Yes, I met Art.
Oh,
And
yeah,
I
Art.
met Art and Vic. And
Yes, Vic.
Oswald. Yes.
We've been to their workshops, so
Love
it's
it.
cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's so cool.
Hi, Arlene.
Hi, Arlene.
Hello,
Arlene.
hello. Hi, Renny. So, first of all, my journey's it been in progress for a few years, and there've been many coaches along the way, especially since the beginning of COVID. And Jean-Luc and Nick have introduced me to a lot of amazing coaches that have become my friends. And Renny is a regular coach of mine. And whether it's Saturdays at 11:30 a.m. Eastern or Sundays at 9:30, if it's not a Costco week, Renny. Renny is an amazing coach. He's wonderful, supportive. Just, I can't say enough about him. And I just want to touch on a couple of things, and a couple of things that came up in the chat while you were prepping here. I do believe the virtual world has created a new sense of trust. And Leslie pointed that out in the chat, and I just want to reiterate that. There is a new sense of community when you're in a virtual world. Yes, it's not like it's different because we're talking about people that we have never met versus Jean-Luc and Nick. You're talking about reconnecting with people you have met and hugging them and seeing them again. So that's very, very different. But with people you haven't connected with, there are times when I have been vulnerable on workshops, and we have all seen such immense vulnerability that shows so much strength. And I love what Renny said. There's an intimate, authentic connection. Renny and I both believe that this sense of connection, this sense of belonging, is something, it's a human condition. It's something we all need. And trust and community is absolutely critical to my success.
And you know what, though, Arlene? I think you hit it, both of you, you hit it right nail on the head by saying, when you're in a Zoom room with people that you might not know, you're not as afraid to share because they're not judging you because they don't know you. They're looking at this as just a different story. When you're sharing with people that you meet regularly, they know more of your life, right? So they might be thinking of things differently. And it's so true. It's so true. The connections are so different from a virtual to an
and one thing
in person.
One thing I did want to point out, she's right about the fact that we are meeting people we already know. But I guess I'm thinking about the situation when we went to Stouffville last Sunday, and we met with the party girls, and we met with Lisa and the few people that we met from the WWE world that we never met in person. Until then, that's what I think it made a difference. Meeting these people for the first time in person was very different than we were always on Zoom, and that's what I think I was trying to come at. That's what I'm trying to say. Starting to meet all of you somehow in person throughout the next few months, and things start opening back up and the world starts being more normal, that to me is what I'm trying to say is different than meeting a virtual one-on-one like this. That's what I was trying to point out.
And I think, the opening up, there's been a lot of posting on Antonetta's page about people connecting. And if you're in the GTA, for Americans, that stands for Greater Toronto Area. If you're in the GTA or even just outside of it, you're within driving distance. Like Leslie driving down to meet Ashley and Kevin the other day, and just what
Lisa doing her world tour, being in Guelph one day and going to walk with Nisha the next, and being in studio with. I love it. It's what, it's the bonds that we've seen build.
It's a fruit of our labor. I think all
of our labor.
All of us have been creating these relationships, and now it's like we get to experience them full fledged. We get to.
Can I share something real quick?
Yeah,
Sure.
go.
As we're talking about trust and being authentic. When I lost my weight, I lived in Texas and I was in a relationship that ultimately lasted about 18 years.
Oh.
And when I retired, we split up and I moved to Tulsa. And one reason we just couldn't make the relationship work because there was a lack of communication. A lot of things went unsaid and it was just really, really tragic. I want to share with you, and I promise I'll try not to cry. Wednesday evening, we're still very good friends. And anyway, I called Keith today and asked him if I could read this because it is kind of personal and I didn't want to, but talk about these virtuals have really allowed me and all of us to be so much more authentic, real, and to open up, which we could not do 20 years ago. We really couldn't. And this is what he said. I just watched all of your WW video. You did an excellent job. It was very inspirational and fun. However, the beginning of it made me sad. When you told me the belt story and how that affected you, I thought, wow, I never knew that. I was around all the time, but we never talked about that or how it made you feel. You said something to the effect that so many things in your life were out of balance at the time, and it just made me sad. I know some of it was work, some of it was the weight gain, but I suspect a lot of it was me. I always thought we could talk about anything, but I guess there were things we kept to ourselves and we never shared with each other. I don't mean to be overly reflective. You describing that period just kind of got to me. I'm sorry I wasn't what you needed at the time. I always loved you, but as life would sometimes have it, I didn't always show it. Things happen for a reason. I'm very happy with Jay. However, I've always regretted and mourned what we threw away. I'm glad WW has brought you so far in life. Enough of the sad thoughts. I'm sure a big Hollywood producer will see your video and say, that face, get me that face. Other than the sad part, I loved your video. Congratulations to the Renny Berry on such a successful comeback. Oscars, here you come. Good night to the fabulous Renny Berry.
Oh, that was
Is that not the most
amazing.
sweet thing?
That was like that. Like I both start blubbering myself. Like it's
And-
just.
That's so funny though, Renny. It's so funny because like that's something that Nick and I have said for the longest time, for the first 6 years of this
We weren't
struggle.
honest.
We never talked to each other. And it's so funny what as humans that should be able to
talk.
communicate and
We have
express
language.
ourselves. It is one of the hardest things for us to do.
Yeah.
To actually and you know what it is too? Is because there's tone. People misunderstand. We misinterpret things sometimes. We hear things in the way we think people are saying things in our mind, or we're already afraid of how they're going to react before we even let them react or let them share.
I'm kind of glad that we were able to do this with you, to have you get this moment, to have you live this moment and get to experience this specific thing that happened out of doing this interview. And I know everybody who's done interviews with us before, they've all shared that because of doing it, something came out of it for them that allowed them to, and I hope it's done that for you too, Renny.
Yes, it's really given me a sense of peace, of gratitude.
And Renny, I would love for you on our behalf to thank him for allowing you to read this, because that really goes to show you how people do
evolve,
change. People do understand and eventually can realize that they've done something that maybe they shouldn't have done, and that we can all learn from each other and move on and still be strong.
And I just told him that he wasn't all to blame, because if I wasn't willing to communicate, right? I wasn't. So please tell the people that are dear to you, keep that line of communication open. Realize, like Arlene says, the connection. and treasure that connection. I love you guys so very much.
We love you too, Renny.
All of you. All of you.
Love every 80 of you in this room
know,
are
I can't
very
believe-
special.
I was so shocked that we have so many people here today.
It's Renny.
It's Renny. Yeah. You don't want to catch a glimpse of Renny, the superstar. Hey, he did say Oscars, so
Yeah.
I hope we get invited to the show.
Yeah,
We'll be on the red carpet, guys.
Woo! We'll walk down. Awesome.
Thank you so much, Arlene.
Thank you, Arlene.
for sharing so much.
Thank you, Arlene.
So we are ending. The hour's already gone by. We're already actually
is
running
crazy.
late. So it's crazy. Like we could talk with you, Renny, all day. I just want to say thank you so much for not only agreeing to do the interview with us, agreeing to do the live show. For everybody who does this with us, we're just thankful that you're willing to work with us like this.
It puts you in a very vulnerable state.
Yes,
Sometimes
yes.
we ask questions. We always prepare you, of course, ahead of
Yeah.
time. But sometimes things come out just because you're in that moment.
Yeah.
And when you feel comfortable in a moment, you sometimes share something you never thought you would share before. So and those moments are precious, and we need to embrace them and love those moments and
Yeah.
enjoy them and appreciate them.
Thank you for creating a safe space for us. Thank you. You guys are such a treasure.
Oh, you're the treasure. You're the treasure. Thank you so much, Renny.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'm sorry. It's like my heart's so like I can't even stop smiling because I'm just so happy right now. This again,
A lot of this going on right
and
now.
Ashley's on Facebook. She's like, I can see my drawings on. Yes,
A lot
we
of
are
this
wearing the
going on.
shirts.
Yeah. We
So,
are wearing the shirt.
There are a few things we want to do some shout outs. So
Yes.
we want to give a shout out to Michelle, who reached Lifetime.
Yes.
As well as somebody else on our group did this week. I can't remember name. If someone remembers the name, someone else also reached Lifetime this week in our group. So please share in the chat if you remember someone remembers somebody else. Michelle also had her surgery. She's here
Yes.
tonight. We saw a video of her
She's
starting to walking
already. She
and
was walking.
just wanna
which
give her
is
a
fantastic.
Yeah, and she posted in the group. Good job. Good. Like I just love your spirit, Michelle. Keep going. Don't stop. Everyone here is rooting for you, and we're all here for you whenever you need us.
Yes, and we do also want to send out some love and some thoughts to Jose. We know we did find out recently that she did lose her partner, her life partner, who she's been with for quite some time now. And we are here with you, Jose. I know you might not be here with us this evening.
She is. I saw her.
Jose,
That's why
you are here.
I saw her. I
And
wanted to just make sure she knows we love her. And
we love you. And like I said, the offer always stands. You reach out to us, and we will definitely just talk anytime,
Sorry.
Jose.
Cat.
What's going on?
Cat's doing something.
Cat's doing something they're not supposed to do.
Yes.
So
Yes.
another little thing. What else do we want to talk about? Oh, cool thing. So I met some friends from years ago. Like honestly, walking down the street in Windsor.
Yes.
And it was one of those things. And no lie, this is actually
We
happened.
were walking up to this driveway of people sitting out for a birthday, and I told him. He said,
I said, I probably know those
and
people.
I said, you probably do. And we walk up, and he's like, I do know them.
Jean-Luc!
Yeah.
And oddly enough, is I knew them years ago when I was a kid, and we had a trailer, and we were at the same trailer park with my parents. My parents had a camper, they had a camper, blah blah. Blah. Well, years later, I go into the sign language interpreting program. The youngest daughter, the youngest girl, actually was in the year after me, and she's also a sign language interpreter now. And the first thing what I loved about her, she's like, I love the way you guys talk about this thing. And we only spoke to them for what?
So then
we
she
were with them
joined
for
her
an
two
hour.
sisters, and then
Then
on that
three
night their
people that were at the
friends
party were like,
started
"Oh my
joining the
goodness."
group. We're like, okay. So
It
like,
was-
if you're watching tonight, hi.
Yes, hi Kim, hi Kim, Roseanne,
Kelly.
and Kelly. Woo!
Yeah. We also got to see our friend Lisa for the first time. You guys saw Lisa on our channel 2 years ago in 2018-19. She was actually a guest. We got to hang out with her.
And guess what? She's on her
lost
own journey right now.
She's actually been doing great. She's doing amazing. She's lost some weight
shed
herself.
She shed some pounds,
Yeah.
and she's feeling really good about
And
it.
she's
She
just-
found what she loves.
She found her forever.
Yeah,
And it's
she
so
found what
funny.
she
She
loves.
found what she enjoys, and it worked for her.
We
And
also saw our friend Elaine this
Yes,
week on
our friend
Tuesday.
Elaine.
We had dinner with Elaine and her as well on
She
another
also-
journey of her own.
yeah.
But
And-
we know we're like,
I think
she listens a little bit.
Because I think she
Some of
says
the things
she says
I was
things.
like,
They're
we said that.
You say that.
And
You say that.
and it could have been just things she's heard, you know.
Yeah.
But it's just awesome. I love seeing people trying
just to be the best, live their best life.
To live their best life. Yeah.
Yeah, live their best
that's
life.
all we want to do.
We also we want to thank Joyce. Joyce came to see us. She allowed us to use the Masonic Temple in Windsor again this weekend to do our body step classes. So thank you, Joyce. She also gave me some singles, and she told me where to find them in Windsor.
And we went and bought 14 more boxes.
Windsor, I bought 14 of them.
We left 10 behind.
I left 10 behind.
And the cashier did not
They're
stop
all in
us.
here.
They're all lined up. It's hilarious. They're all lined up. And also, which was really cool, is the last time we were in Windsor, Kim, what am I talking about? Joyce's son brought us. He actually has a farm. He has a Grow Better Garrett's Greens, and he has a farm, and he goes to he sells his products at local farmers markets. We're actually going to be posting a picture of all the products he gave us today. We'll be posting it tomorrow. We're posting his information as well, where you can find him in Windsor.
Yeah. He actually delivers.
He delivers. I'm not sure exactly. He does deliver as well.
I talked to him.
So. Absolutely amazing. He's really cute.
Yeah, no, he was very. He was so very. Oh my god.
We were doing step. We're not gonna lie. We're doing step class, and I see this guy walk in. I'm like, who's that? We're finishing step class, and then all of a sudden he comes up, and he's such a nice guy too. Like that's what made him even more. He talks to us about
the company, and he tells us what he does, and then we're like, okay, we agreed to work with him.
We're hoping to do a video with him actually at some point, maybe a live or something, so that way people in Windsor can get to know him a little bit more.
It was a nice interview with him in person. Anyways,
you're terrible.
So he leaves, and after he leaves, we were honest.
We told Joyce right away. We're like, Joyce, your
son is very cute.
He's beautiful.
He's very attractive. So
beautiful man.
So we will definitely. We can't wait to try. We already had some 2 weeks ago. We can't wait to try the new stuff that we got this week, and we'll be talking about them. And we will try to find a way to film with him because we love supporting local businesses. We think that that's an important part of what we do, especially because we have such a huge group of people in Ontario, Canada. So we love when someone reaches out and says, "Hey, I do this, and I love vegetables." We love that stuff. So again, if you do something that's unique, reach out to us. Yeah,
let's figure something out.
Yeah, we love sharing and
share the info out there. It's so important. Another thing too, while we were walking downtown, we filmed our Forever Method video. Finally, we filmed it in Windsor at the Sculpture Garden in Windsor, near the University of Windsor. They have a bunch of sculptures near the river.
We had fun.
Where the elephants, if you saw the picture, I love my elephants. So anyways, we went and did that. And two guys on a bike, as we were we were literally filming something, two guys on a bike going, "Hey guys, long time no see." And both of us went, "Do we know them?" We had no clue who they were, but apparently they recognized us. And we got to see Sandra Diaz as well at the grocery store.
At the grocery store.
It's been it was a fun-filled, packed weekend.
It went, and we've explained to you guys, right? When we went to lockdown in March of 2020, we had started getting recognized. And then we went to lockdown, so we went nowhere. So no one could recognize us, and you had the mask on too, so no one really sees you. So now we're going out, and we're getting it's like constant now. It's a little weird. But it's fun. We love it. Like if you see us,
please say
hi. Please say hi. We don't like hearing someone says, "I saw you guys, but I didn't want to say hi because I didn't want to bother us." Just come out to us and say hello because we love it. We just love meeting people that we see on here. It warms our hearts when you guys come up to us. So please say hi.
It makes it real.
Yeah, it makes it real.
So.
We love all you guys. So that's why we do this. So updates. Body Step Volume 1 this week. We're going back to Volume 1.
Back to 1.
So Thursday at 6:30 p.m., Saturday at 10 a.m., and Sunday at noon we'll be doing Volume 1, and then next week we'll be going back to Volume 2. We'll be alternating them going forward.
And Volume 1, just FYI, has been revamped. We already mentioned it. Revamped. It's nothing changed except for more timing.
More timing.
21
Questions, Part 3, live with Paula.
Next Saturday
at 4 p.m.
And we are opening a Zoom room.
Yes.
However, the event is only going to be live broadcast in YouTube.
Yes, it will not be on Facebook
except for YouTube.
So if you want to catch this episode, either subscribe to our channel on YouTube or look for the links that we're going to be sharing. It will only be on YouTube, and Zoom will be open so you can join the Zoom. But we won't be taking questions because we'll be literally just filming from Zoom, and you guys can join and watch.
It'll be live studio audience. Maybe we'll let you guys
clap, applause,
unmute, and go ha 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 ha,
or like oh, maybe we'll do that. Yeah. Shock face.
We'll have Paula hold cards
Yeah,
up.
Cards up.
What reaction she wants you guys to make. That would be fun.
That'd be
I love
hilarious.
that. Okay, maybe I'm making cards.
Okay, next Saturday as well, our 80-20 rule video is coming out on YouTube at 7 p.m. as well. So double whammy to next week. Two videos coming out. And our 80-20 rule is something we talk about a lot, and a lot of people have asked us about it.
Yep.
You'll finally get to hear us explain it in a 10-minute video.
And we can be honest in saying we've probably been at a 60-40. I'm glad we're on the same page with that. 60-40. We've been 60-40.
We're going back to 80-20.
Yeah.
Actually, probably 90-10.
90-10 is probably where we need to be.
Yeah.
But no, not even need. I don't even want to say that. 90-10 is where I'd like to be, but it doesn't mean I'm going to be there tomorrow.
Then on August 14th, we have you met with Arlene?
Yes, yay! I finished captioning that video and I loved every minute of it. It was a great interview. And Arlene will actually be our guest host on August 22nd.
Exactly. And then our favorite things, Nord concentrated broth, will be coming out on August 21st.
And then we have a new recipe coming out on August 28th, which is our meatball sub.
You saw the pictures. It was amazing, guys. So if you want a great meatball sub, that's low point. Look for this recipe when it comes out. It's 2 ingredient dough. It's insane how good it was. It was like August 28th, it's coming out. Like,
yum.
Yeah. So we made it to the end of the show.
We did, and we're just a few minutes
I know.
past schedule.
We had a bit of extra stuff to talk about this week. But again, we want to share our social channels. We still want to let everybody know where to find us. You can find us on YouTube, of course, and on Facebook. Our Facebook group is the Wellness Warriors VI Peeps. We actually are almost at 7,500 members, which is amazing. We had almost 300 people join this week. So if you're new to the group, welcome.
Welcome. We have a new video coming out to show you guys how to use the group.
So we have a new video coming out tomorrow, actually, that we're going to be releasing for you guys in the group, so watch for that. You can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, TikTok, and connect using @the WB Gays.
And you can check out our website, jeanlucandnick.com, or find our recipes at jeanlucandnick.com/recipes. Send us some mail if you'd like to. It does not have to be gifts. Mail, just a letter.
Just a letter.
If you want to share some info, or if you want us to read your letter out, please.
Yeah, if you have a question to ask us.
Definitely.
If you want an on-air
I like
reading.
opening envelopes. I don't know why.
I would love to read an on-air letter.
Yeah.
I was going to say, please read my letter online. I'd be like, yeah, because we don't read them.
We don't read them because, again, sometimes it could be private. And we don't want to do that.
We don't want to do that. But if you tell us, we'll read
Or
them.
you can even send us an email and send us that letter via email and say, can you read this letter online or on a Sunday night chat or a Sunday?
www.gays@gmail.com. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us this week. You guys have made our hearts filled. Renny, again, thank you so much for being here with us.
And don't forget that tracking is og must.
Tracking is og must. And anybody who's in Zoom, please stay behind. We will chat with you after. Have a great night, everyone.
Good night, everybody. Good night, Facebook.